Okay. This video is directly out to everybody that's been asking about Nile monitored care. Can't be doing that shit. Alright. Nile monitored care, it's hard, okay? To handle an animal like them, you have to build trust in them. If you don't build the trust that they need in you, then it's not going to happen, okay? To pick them up, first of all, you got to build a lot of trust issues. If you sit there and pick them up when they're sit there and aggressed by necks extended, or they have their tail whipping or trying to bite you, you're going to, all that bonding that you've been doing with them is gone. Just put it that way. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to sit there and build the trust by getting in the environment, digging in it, letting your smell be in there for a while, keep changing it and everything without trying to pick them up till they build an issue to you where they feel comfortable enough to come up to you and see what's going on. Now when that happens, you can pick them up, or if they're sitting there not flaring up at you and all and they want you to pick them up, then pick them up. Alright, you want to try to handle them as much as you possibly can without stressing the animal out. Alright, another thing is, as you can see, nib over here and blues over here. My male Nile is extremely aggressive during mating season. And right now we're taking them out and trying to show you guys what's going on, but they're about ready to mate, and I'm not going to stick my hands inside the enclosure because that's just plain stupid during that season. I could get it bit. So another thing I want to show you guys is just pretty much the update of everything I've been doing to the cage. And I've been seeing a lot of videos going on about Niles lately, and I've really been liking that. So a shout out goes directly to Nick Still Black. I like seeing his art. He's gotten a little bit bigger. Looks like he got a little bit longer, not too much thicker, but it's a good sign. And big ball pythons, and your Nile monitor is doing pretty good too. So I've been seeing a couple of different videos I've been liking, so as you guys can tell. And I just want to see as many videos out as Niles as possible. Because people really need to be knowledgeable about these type of animals. They're not those species that you just want hanging around you and fucking... Because these animals get massive. And by massive, I mean over 5 feet. They can take off fingers and stuff when they're full grown. Not a good animal to be around kids unless it's tame. Another thing you got to worry about with these guys is this expense. Alright, if you're a little kid, you don't have hundreds of dollars a month for food and everything else. You're going to want to go ahead and get something smaller. These guys require a lot of money and expenses as they get full grown. Right now, our food bill for these guys is about $100 each a month, and their enclosure is close to a $3 grand enclosure. And the next one I'm building is build it cheaper because I'm building all this stuff myself. It's going to cost me around $1,200. Just to give you guys an estimate around the price range and stuff. Alright, another thing you gotta realize is these guys need to be handled with gloves and need to be handled with care. They cannot be just yanked out of their bare handed unless your Nile has gotten used to you. You will get bit pretty bad. Now, as you can see, I'm going to show you in a second. Alright, I prefer to feed them diets of chicken, pork heart, beef heart, all raw food chopped up into little monitor-sized chunks, about that big. Another thing you want to do is make sure that when you're cutting the food up and everything, mix a little bit of calcium in there, because monitors need that as they're growing. And monitors should reach around 2 to 3 feet within their first year. They do most of the growth during the first few years, as long as they're given the right environment. So that's a good thing. And they're semi-aquatic, so another thing you want to watch out for is you want to have plenty of water for them to soak their bodies and completely submerge their bodies, because they need that for the thermal gradient to work properly. It helps them cool down all at once. Another thing is you want plenty of hides and stuff around it, because in thermal gradient they need to escape from certain temperatures fast, and the best way to do that is going into a hide. You want plenty of soil for them to dig in and burrow in. You want rocks in there to grind down their claws so they're not getting too long. You want plenty of hides. Like I was saying, hides especially, you want tons of those around your thing. I know until you tame your animal too much, you're not going to want too many hides in there for him, but you will want some in there, just so that he does have places to hide. And another thing is, just don't be cheap about it. Just as much as you can and get the best stuff you can for these guys, because they do know you as your caretaker, and in certain parts of Africa they're known as watchdogs. So, if you don't believe me, check it out on Google. I know most Google, but Nile monitors identify individuals. So therefore, after a while, you become their caretaker, and they will let you inside the cage, and eventually let you handle them, and start to mellow out. But it does take time to bond with these creatures, so just spend a lot of time with them, and don't mess with them too much. Another thing I want to show you guys is, alright, I have a few different things here that I've just bought. I got another one of these basking lamps right here for another. I think this one's 300. Pretty sure it's 300. Alright, so when I got this one, I went ahead and got this just for the extra little setup inside the cage. Right there. Got that from. I went and picked up, I replaced the 200 watts with 300 watt ceramic heaters, because it's winter time. I got them 2 more desert coils. I got the temperature right now is, let's see, let's get an LED on that. It's 88 on the hot side, 73 on the cold side, 49% humidity. So it means right now I need to moisten the humidity up. It needs to come up just a little bit. Looks like it's drying out a little bit in their cage, so we'll go ahead and help that. Another thing, as you can see, is I've redone the hide area for them. The hide measures 1.5 feet tall underneath by 3.5 feet long, and then there's 2 cinder blocks in there, just for a way to heighten up there to their basking areas. Also, I have a UV bulb and another bulb that turn on during certain hours of the day outside the vents coming directly in it, because as everybody knows, you can't put those through glass. Another thing is I have some feeder fish in there right now just for snacks in between feeds. They usually have a diet of eggs, chicken, pork. They really seem to like bacon, though. If you guys have ever tried bacon, take all the fat off it. And they really enjoy just little strips of bacon sometimes, raw bacon. So it's a good way. If you haven't tried it before, go ahead and try it and tell me what you think of it. Definitely shout outs, dude. So I got a shout out to Zard and shout out to Realm. This is 2 different Nile monitors I've been checking out lately. Can't wait to see those guys get as big as mine. Another thing is, when you guys have Nile monitors, just make sure that the heating inside your tank is at the best, most temperature for them, because otherwise you're going to end up with a lot of fucking problems with the Nile monitors. I've always made sure my heat inside my tank has always been just about right for these guys, because if you get it too high, you just won't have the thermal gradient right. And as you can tell, Nib's flaring up a little bit right now. I opened up the cage. Doesn't know what to do. He's checking us out. So right now is not the best time to go in there. I was going to take out the feeder fish, but I'll do that after I get off camera, because he seems not to like the camera too much. I'm not going to get whipped by him again. I got bit by Nib the other day, and that shit hurt. Almost needed stitches for it. Another thing is, when you have monitors of this size already, or if you haven't gotten to this size, make sure that one of the foremost things you do is get some leather gloves. And I do emphasize on the leather gloves. Welder's gloves work perfect for this. And another thing you want to do is make sure that if you have 2 of them, and it's around mating season, that you make sure that they aren't too aggressive with each other. See, right now, Blue and Nib are going to go over to the water dish, because kind of trained them to go to the water dish when I'm trying to come into their environment, so that they don't bite me and anything else while I'm changing substrate and everything else. So Nibs pretty much knows that by now. As you can see, he'll take off to the other side real fast. So let me put this camera down over here for you guys while I get the fish out of here. As you guys can tell, I'm inside this tank now, right by all the heating cords and everything else inside here. It's actually pretty nice and warm in here. There goes Nib. He's taking off. He hates it when I come in here, but gotta leave my scent in here. Let me know what you guys think of my Niles. I hope to see a lot more Nile videos out there. Let me see anything that's going on. You guys have any questions, let me see some videos of what's going on. Another thing is make sure they have adequate swimming. As you can tell, Nib loves to swim over there. And peace out, YouTube. Subscribe, comment, rate this video. If you guys have any Niles, definitely comment on this video. Let me know what you guys think. Hope to see more YouTube videos coming up too. Peace out, YouTube.